it's your first lecture of the day and you came prepared, pre-reading done, notes printed. You've got this lecture in the bag. We're mid-lecture now, and a particularly tough topic rears its ugly head, a cost of capital concept. You have a question, but you don't ask. The question now is starting to burn in your mind. Your hand stays down. You're paralyzed with fear, palms sweaty, knees weak, arms heavy. What if they think you're dumb and maybe everyone will be annoyed? You shrink into your chair, afraid to be seen, afraid to be wrong. But how do you truly learn if you're too scared to express yourself? And who do you become if you don't? Again, we are joined by Postgraduate Diploma in Accounting Sciences student at the University of Pretoria, Walter Madondo. We chat about how you can pierce through the noise and find the strength to be yourself in every environment you find yourself in. We also chat about how family office planning can improve family governance, why being yourself is a matter of being your best, approaching your studies like a 9 to 5, why university is the best place to try things and make mistakes, the cocaine-kale phone protocol to fight phone addiction, and more. Once again, I hope you enjoy. My travelers on the road to CASA. There was just this one thing that I have to share with you guys. So we got a particular test back, right? Class test. And in this test, the pass rate was 30%. CTA. Keep that in mind. And I started to think about it. If you passed, you were in the 70th percentile of performers within the test. Just if you are an aspiring CA early on in the journey, or even beyond, just to give context to some of the experiences that people have in this year. Very interesting. Thought I'd just share that with you. Once again, we are on to another incredible episode. I hope you enjoy. If you're not already, listen to part 1. It's linked in the show notes. On to part 2. I noticed, how your father, he got you and your brothers together. You're like, guys, okay, we're all going to be CAs. You're going to do this side. You're going to be in this subsidiary. You're going to be in this. Like, I see my father in that as well. But the thought that came to my mind was this crazy idea that my brother came up with. So he's started to research family offices. So family offices, for those who don't know, are basically just offices that formalize family operations. So really wealthy people will tend to create family offices in order to manage an estate from a familial perspective, from a familial point of view. So let's say you, as a CA, work your ass off your whole career, and then 10 years later, you're now a center millionaire, and you've got this huge net worth. What a family office helps with is planning your entire family within a formal context to say, okay, we've got our lawyer. He knows how to write a proper, or how to structure a will right, how to tax plan effectively, how to put investments in areas effectively, but also just from a shares perspective, what in a family office you can write in provisions in your family office to say you're not allowed to be owning your share of this company, of this family company, if you don't meet X requirements. Maybe the requirement to own shares in the family business, maybe when I die, my kids, is that you have to have a degree. That could be written. Yes. Remember, you're going to listen to this episode, but
I wanted
it's huge. My brother,
to take notes. Yeah,
I hear he made this fantastic, but so funny, witty comparison, right? So family offices are like, so family offices to normal families, the things that we know, like just, it's my dad, it's my mom, my brother, my sister. It's like a marriage to a dating relationship. What you do in a family office is very different to what you do in a normal family because it's formalized. You vote in instead of having just your family gathering and your leaders just being there because they're confident, they're loud, because that's what happens in a lot of these families.
Yes.
What if we had an AGM and we voted in the family's board of directors? On the marriage side, you have vows. You have stated promises that you should be honoring. Most people don't. A lot of people don't. Till death do us part. But in a relationship, my brother, he said this was so funny. This is a great example to illustrate how the power of formalizing it. It's easy to tell your wife to cook. It's hella hard to tell your girlfriend to cook. It is easy to tell your husband to mow the lawn. It's a little bit difficult to tell your boyfriend to mow the lawn. And that's what a family office provides. It says, guys, there's things we have to do in this family. You are going to be a CA. You're going to be a CA. You're going to be a CA. My father did the same thing, exact same thing with us, me and my brother. Both of us, we're going to be CAs. But now what I'm seeing is there's things that need to be written in the constitution of this family. And say, guys, if we're going to be managing this estate, if we're going to be growing this thing to continental, international, multinational levels, we need to be professionals about ourselves, which I really admire your father emulating and taking into his ethos. Because I think there's weaknesses in making family too informal. There's weaknesses. I'm not saying right or wrong, just weaknesses. Yeah. Vulnerabilities.
Definitely. I mean, if we're looking at how companies are, you're profit oriented, right? Because I've also identified some of these things in our family's businesses as well. You tend to be lenient on family, but family offices, man, you've just given me one big idea. I'm gonna pitch it to my father. I'm gonna look into that as well, and then see how that goes, because we've got interesting professions in our family, really. The 5 of us, so it'll be quite interesting.
It's so important to plan, and I love the planning around. Like, a family is such a powerful unit to plan everything around. So when you know your brother's an engineer and you guys have a relationship that can work, then you know that I have engineering skills. Yes. So me, I'm a third-year accounting student, but I've got CA skills. My brother's about to be a CA. I've got a guy who knows audit, knows risk. Yes. I've got a guy who has the skills of a CA. That's me. I'm a CA, basically. You know what I'm saying? Yes. That's what a tight unit provides. It provides, like, you have a limb. You have a limb that you otherwise wouldn't have had. My brother's my limb. Yeah. He's my extra limb. Dude, okay. Jeez, you said...
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. This is fantastic convo. You said the biggest achievement, one of the biggest achievements of your life, is someone told you that, Walter, you've changed my life. What was that change? How did you do that?
So it's not only one person. Frankly, a lot of people have done that. And I also think I talked about what potential, right? I talked about what God has put inside of you, and it's something that I've always liked. That you're changing people's lives. I don't like, if you meet me today, I don't like you to remain the same person before you met me. I don't want that. Right? When you see me, I even have a should I say this? I even have a mantra at the back of my mind that if you look at me, right? Or if you talk to me, or if you just look at me, your life must be changed. You understand? That's me.
Yeah.
That's just me. It's because of what I carry, right? Like I talked about purpose, different purposes in life, but to me, I have it. One of my best friends, who was my roommate since grade 8 up until we finished for 6 years.
Sure.
He mentioned something like that. He did say, Walter, you've changed my life. You've really, his name was Takunda. I'll call him out on it because he also changed my life in terms of how I dress. He said, you've changed my life in terms of how I see life, how I see success. So I'd like to think it's more of when I change when this person would come and say, Walter, you've changed my life, it's more of in them, realizing their potential that is inside of them. Inside of them, like, is it academic? Is it in sport? But inside of them, they've realized that potential. You understand? When someone tells me that, I think about it. When I sit on my bed, I think about it. I think about it. When I get a distinction, it's not satisfying. I get a distinction. I like a distinction because I like the process. I like the process of getting a distinction, not the actual distinction itself. But when someone comes to you and says, you have changed my life,
that you can mull on.
And I'm thinking to myself, when did I change your life? You understand? At what point did you feel like it? Right? When my friend told me this, I was thinking about it. I was lying on my bed. At what point did this person feel like I've changed their life? Because I don't feel it. I don't do it intentionally. It's just something that happens, right? That if you have a conversation, I end up talking about certain things and then your life becomes being changed or something like that. Or somebody just says, I like the way you do it. I like how disciplined you are. How did you know I'm disciplined? You just saw me. How do you know I'm disciplined? Right? I like how you carry yourself. It's not something I pay attention to. Right? So I just like the aura that you carry around yourself. I don't even pay attention to that. I don't even see it. I don't see it myself, right? But that when somebody comes and says, you've changed my life for the better. I see life differently. I think differently. I now, my relationship with God is improved. Man, that to me is something that I really relish. I really like. I really love it. And
I think it comes back to that idea that you mentioned of spreading your personality.
Precisely.
And I'm also starting to realize that, I'm not doing it intentionally, but this podcast, I remember one day we were on a call, me and my brother, with a guy who we knew, and me and my brother, we run another podcast.
Yes.
And he had watched an episode, I think. And he was like, yeah, man, I feel like I know you. I'm like, what? This is my first time meeting this guy. And I'm realizing how important it is to be yourself.
Oh, man.
Because you never want the situation that you're saying something on a platform, or you speak at an event, or you have a conversation with one person, and then the moment you meet them in this context, or you meet them in person, it's a whole other thing.
Oh.
You want to be yourself, because the moment you are yourself, you get to tap into that seed. The one with the forest inside it.
Yeah.
That's you. That's you. You are the forest. But it's just about you understanding that all the societal pressures, all these things telling you not to talk about God, and all these things that are in the way of you, once you get past that, you can start.
Bro, I love it. And this is so evident with you. Like, I remember it was, I also wanted, before I met you, I really wanted to have a conversation with you. Why?
I remember you even tapped me in the aula there that time. That was the first time we spoke.
Yes, that was the first time we spoke. I wanted to speak to you because I realized from the questions you ask in class, from the way you speak, I knew this guy sees the world differently, and I have to talk to him at some point. But I knew we were gonna meet. I just knew, okay, something is going to happen. We're going to have a free time and then we're going to chat about it. But that's one of the hardest things to do, to be yourself. Because when
it's not easy, eh?
Because when we're saying be yourself, we're not meaning be destructive. Like, no. But Alunga, when you ask that question in class, do you know how many people say like, here we go again?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed.
Absolutely. Like I understand that sometimes my questions will confuse people. And I'll be like, this guy's asking.
And they're forward looking.
Yeah.
I like them because they're forward looking, right? But do you know how many people like, this guy? Already when they do that, they no longer learn from your question. But you keep on doing it, knowing that that's what people do. You know, one of the things I told myself this year, beginning of this year, I said, I'm going to be myself. I'm going to dress the way I want to dress, right? Me, the me you see was made by when I met the Lord Jesus Christ. That's me. I'm going to be myself. If you don't like me because I'm a Christian, bro, you can pack your stuff, right? And then you understand, you can stay away from that. But, I went to VAC work at Moore.
This holiday?
This holiday in June, for just a week. And it was the concluding event, sort of like a mini event. People were just socializing. This guy, he was drunk as well. He's from Stellenbosch. His name is Björn. I'll make sure that he listens to this episode. And he said to me, Walter, you should not be afraid of being the smartest guy in the room. You should not be afraid of being that guy.
Is Björn a student as well?
Björn, he's a student, second year student at Stellies.
Wow.
It's the first year, second year, something like that. He told me, no, man. He said, I know that you are different when you came to VACO. You're different from us, right? You're definitely smart. You know what you want in life. You know who you are, but don't be afraid of doing that. Don't be afraid of being yourself. Even if people hate you for doing that, just say, I don't care. Be that guy. And that's one of the things that I read when I met the CEO of Moore, the managing partner, Oliver. Amazing guy. Amazing. I love the guy. He made my VAC work. I talked to him for a few minutes, and the way he speaks, amazing guy. He told me to read David and Goliath.
By Malcolm Gladwell.
He talks about being disagreeable. You have to be a person that is disagreeable. He says an entrepreneur is disagreeable. Like you don't have to be agreeable, an agreeable person, but being disagreeable. Oliver as well mentioned it when we were at VAC work. He said, look guys, all of you, when you get into your articles, you all have the foundation of academics, whether it's a distinction or that. But your academic is not what will distinguish you. What is that thing that will make you separate from other people? That will not be your grade. Because you're not the only student that is a distinction in the country. You're not the only student that has a distinction at the firm that you'll be working at. So what is that thing that will make your manager put you up front when you are going for an event? What is that thing that will make you stand out? And that's where being yourself comes out. But it's not easy. You understand? It's not easy. It takes courage. Sometimes I want to preach the gospel, right? I pray first. Because now fear is coming into my mind. So I pray and then I get out that fear, become myself. That person rejects Jesus Christ, that's fine. We move on to the next person, that's fine.
It was meant to be, man.
It was meant to be.
Like people were meant to be annoyed. Some people, not everyone. Yes. Obviously, that's a huge thing that I think grounds me. Understanding that it's not about everyone. It's about the one person.
About the man.
Not this God, man. But the one person.
About the man, yeah.
When I ask a question, there is one person in this room that might just benefit from it.
Yes.
When I share a story,
yep,
all there needs to be, when you share your story, there needs to be one person whose life is going to be changed by it.
Who takes on, I like that.
Who's going to take something. People don't have to take everything from your conversation. They don't have to take everything from this podcast. You really don't have to listen to the whole thing. You don't.
Yeah.
But maybe there's that 5 minutes. Maybe there's that one person somewhere down in Namibia. I know I have people listening from Namibia and people from it's crazy.
Wow.
That hears this and starts to think further, starts to think bigger, starts to think maybe I want to become a CA. That's all. And when that's the focus, I'll share, even if you don't like it.
You know what I love about this degree? Let me talk about what I don't like. In our class, right? Because you have smart students, many people are so worried about what their next person is going to say. I was that person in first year and partly second year. I'm worried because I like asking questions on the subject matter, engaging, right? Yeah. So I would not raise my hand because I would think someone would think I'm too smart, or someone would think I'm wasting their time, or someone would think wada, right? That's one of the things that our university setting is like. It also comes back to culture. I remember the guy who took us for IT auditing last year, Mr. De Bruyne. No, Mr. De Bruyne. Yeah, he went to America. He said the difference between Americans and South Africans is Americans are FaceTime. They like talking, right? They'll raise your question up quickly. Like they'll ask you quickly, right? South Africans are more conservative. I noticed that when I came to South Africa, that people do not like asking questions. People are a bit intimidated of what is the next person going to think of me. They'll think, oh, here we go again. To be honest, they will think that. Yeah. It's going to happen, right? For sure. Yeah. But having the courage to say, I'll be myself. And the nice thing is, it's only for a phase where you start feeling, when you feel the effects of that. After a certain point, you're already through. You no longer, it's like, it just becomes a norm. Like you don't even think these days.
I don't really.
Don't even think. These days, I'm asking more questions than I've ever done in my life. In one class, ask 5-10 questions. Because I want to understand. Yeah. You understand? I don't want to study this thing again after class. Yes. So I'm going to ask the lecturer. Yes. You understand? That's why I also sit in front. Because in front, you need less confidence to raise a question than at the back. At the back, like you see that way at the back, right? You need to speak up louder. Yeah. Everyone has to hear you. I sit at the front, not because I'm scared, but
it's easier.
It's easier. But also at the front, you also have the more focused people at the front.
True.
So I like to be around people who are actually listening, not people who are actually doing the contrary to that. For example, there's this lady who sits in class, for example, Lali, right? She sits first bench, right? She raises up her hand all the time. But every time she asks a question, I don't even hear that question. But her question was answered. The matter is, her question was answered. Right? So being yourself, really. And that's what I love about being university. Sorry, I'm just sharing with you my cogitations, right? My contemplations. That's the lovely thing about university. University allows you to, it's before you go into the work world, it allows you to develop yourself without much responsibility. You're not yet married. You don't have so many responsibilities. So you can afford to make some mistakes. My pastor said there are certain mistakes you are not supposed to make when you're 40 years old. You cannot make that mistake when you're 40. Yeah. But when you're 20, you can make that mistake. Right? If you used all your money irresponsibly at 20,
that's fine.
At 40, I mean, back at home, there are guys who spend all their money at sports betting. Then they lose that money. I hear this. That is an irresponsible mistake to make. So university is a time to make those mistakes, to take that leap of faith, to say, I'm going to do this. I mean, you went ahead and did a podcast.
Who am I, hey?
Who
am I, dude?
Bro, imagine starting it when you're already a CA. That's a bit, it's a bit difficult to do that.
Look, I could.
You could.
But at the same time, I think, and it gets into an idea that I heard from another CA. He's a CA now, but when he was a trainee, he was actually also an entrepreneur. He was starting a business. In fact, let me not say he was starting. He was running a business. Have you ever heard of a business called Old School? They sell rugby jerseys. Basically, they sell rugby jerseys.
That one, I've seen a rugby jersey recent. Old School.
Might have an S here. Like that's the new Still Knox, I think, range. Basically, that business, it's an 8-figure business, maybe plus, I don't know. But it's an 8-figure business. He started that in third year with his brother, who was in first year varsity at Stellenbosch. He's now a CA. So the course that you, Walter, that me, Alunga, are doing, that you, listener, listening to this, is doing. He was doing that Andy was running a business with his brother that's now doing over 8 figures. He started that.
Man.
And he also passed his degree with distinction, by the way. Honors, I think, also almost distinction, which is just to pass honors. That's already crazy.
Okay.
The main point is that we will always make excuses that hold us back from doing these things that are contrarian, from being ourselves.
Yeah,
because we all have that thing that we want to do that. No, they'll think I'm not cool, or they'll be annoyed. Who am I? I don't have time. We're always gonna bring up these things, these excuses. When are we actually gonna do it?
Yeah,
you can. There's people out there that have done exactly that thing that you think you can't do. There's someone out there. If you go read a book, if you go have a conversation with someone, they've probably done it. If you're failing mid-year, you're like, I can't do this because I didn't work hard. My discipline. People are like, I have demons, whatever. My brother failed. He failed in mid-year. He was failing 40s, everything. You can go check out the episode. I think it's called Save the Semester by Burning the Boats by Owen Madala. He's there. He failed in the mid-year. Got into CTA. That's not just a pass. It's 50%, 57% aggregate plus 53 minimum for each subject. So there was something that was quote unquote impossible that clearly wasn't.
It was not. My dad used to say, when we were young, when you're in primary school, anything easy, leave it.
Sure.
Now, what's easier, to raise up your hand, or to say I'll ask the teacher after class?
Ask the teacher after class. That's easier.
Outright easy. I don't have the time to do that. My time is right. But I'm trying to say, and funny story, when he said that, I took it the wrong way. So in the exam in primary school, we had section B was a choice. Section B, you choose the question that you had to do. Yeah. So I remember this was the final exam of grade 7. You understand? In primary school, final examination. I need these results to get into, to high school. I think of myself, my father said, anything easy, leave it. I remember leaving that math question. I said, no, this thing is too easy for me. I can't do it. I remember it vividly. But I got a distinction in math, but I remember leaving it.
But that's not the time.
That's not the time to do that. But not doing the harder thing is much more difficult. But it's about potential. One of the things I hate the most, right? I don't hate people. I don't hate anyone. But the thing I hate the most is regret. Because regret comes from a point where you had the potential, but you could not maximize that potential. That is blatant failure in life. Miles Monroe said the cemetery is the richest place on earth. Why? Because the cemetery contains unwritten books, unwritten music, unpublished art, whatever it is.
Unstarted
businesses. That's the richest place on earth. I heard that when I was in grade 9.
Sure.
I told myself, no man, I can't be normal. And mediocre is a disease of our generation. Mediocrity is a disease of our generation. Mediocrity means you're average. Someone looks at the average pass rate. I don't look at the average pass rate. I don't care about the average pass rate. Why should I look at the average pass rate? It's wrong. It's for statistics. But my potential is not fulfilled by that average pass rate. It's fulfilled based on what I can do. If I can do more than the average, why am I looking at the average pass rate? Right? That's just for me, right? So that mentality, I think it's regret, potential. And for you to realize your potential, you have to be stretched. You have to be stretched physically, spiritually, right? Mentally, emotionally. There has to be a stretch. How do you get stretched? How do you get yourself to that point to be stretched? Apply yourself to things. Sometimes you feel like you want to sign up for something, but you're not quite sure. Just do it. that those things are stretching you bit by bit. They're stretching you. I remember when I was first made a cell leader. Oh man, that was last year.
Yeah.
First semester. I remember I had 49% in auditing. I failed auditing by first semester. It was work, right? But it was also because I didn't know. I wasn't, understand. I didn't know. I was like, am I even worth it? Am I supposed to be a cell leader? Am I? That opportunity came when I was not ready, right? But now I love it. I love it, discipling other people as well, to walk in it, right? So it stretched me. It really, really stretched me. And through stretching, you get to realize your potential. Through stretching, you can only know how much you can stretch if you have stretched. By stretching, right? And to be fair, yes, you can break, right? But then you now know the limits. Now, no, okay, fine. This is, okay, I can't stretch myself. I'm not yet ready for that level. Let me now stretch, right? I'll stretch it long enough until it becomes that new level. Then you can continue to stretch yourself to that bigger level. And so go for it. University. I thought about, I'm left with 1.5 years at UP. Cause I'm not repeating. It's not in my periphery. I can't repeat. 1.5 years. Then I go into the working world. What have I to do with this 1.5 years? I can't waste it thinking of what someone in class is going to think of me. Right? I can't waste it on what, no, I'm just gonna go for it, man. 1.5 years. In university, it gives you it's like a simulation, aircraft simulators. Pilots train on simulators. You are simulating how the world would respond. Why? Because university is like the real world. Really, anyone can do whatever they want. So you get to test your ideas at university. You get to test yourself at university because you are getting a taste of the world without much responsibility for it. So this is the time to get out of the comfort zone.
Make a mistake.
And
get
make
out that comfort zone.
Mistakes are so, you will, at some point you will make mistakes. You will do. At our church, for example, sometimes you make mistakes. The pastor corrects you on it. Your leader corrects you on it. I was a person who never wanted to be on my phone. I told you how I was in high school. I didn't like my phone.
Yeah.
So I'll respond to messages late. Right? Until I was corrected. No, what if we need something now? Even my parents, I didn't want to talk to my parents for the whole semester. Because I had my mentality, I'll only see my parents after 3 months. Right?
In the holidays. Yeah.
Then I can go home. I didn't want to be disturbed. I just want to finish my books. But now I call my parents every week.
Oh, that's good, man.
Right? I had to, you see, but now I can handle more. I can really handle more because I'm responding to messages quickly. I can now multitask. My mom always used to say, Walter, my mom tells me okay, Walter, I want you to do something that will take 2 minutes. I'll say, okay, I'll write it down. I'll do it later. My mom say, if you just think of something, do it. So now, if I think of something, that's a 2-minute task. In fact, is it Ray Allen, who has a book on productivity? I remember he said 2-minute tasks, you don't have to plan for them. Because it makes your plan too cloggy. Do it. If you think of something, just do. My mom would always say, Walter, if you think of something, just do it. Say, mom, no, I have to plan. I'm a productive person. You know what I mean? I have to plan, but these days, I just do it. If I
actually hear you because there is a fine balance.
Yeah.
So the 2-minute tasks, do them. Because if you are looking at your phone and you see something that makes you're clearly not in productivity mode. You're clearly not in deep work mode.
Yes.
So do it.
Deep work.
Take out the bloody trash. Have you read the book?
Carl Newport.
Yeah.
No, but I listened to his podcast for a very long time. His podcast for a very long time.
I still haven't listened to his podcast. I still haven't read his book. I just know the term.
Deep.
The term. I need to read the book.
Yeah.
Walter, okay. How do you wind down? I'm also curious because this is something that I've been struggling with, turning off my brain. Do you know how to? I can't. Like literally in the night, I'll just be there thinking about, I could have said that in the Walter's episode. Oh my goodness, cost of capital. What does the premium mean again? Oh yeah, the beta. Like all day, my mind is just working, and I'm just trying to find ways. Like, how do you turn off?
I don't think it's a good idea to turn off your mind. To turn off your mind. the Bible, I think the Bible says an idle mind is
the devil's workshop.
So I now say, "Down, I switch off my mind." I mean, like, yeah. How do I wind down? You mean like, how do I not have insomnia?
Yeah.
Or to be honest, I can sleep in a bar. Like, really? I can really. I've never been in a bar, but I can. I work on routines. Okay. Every day at 5, I stop studying at 5 p.m. Now, I might change that depending on the need, of course. So I treat my academics like work. I told you I wake up at 3, start studying at 5. So it's like a 5 to 5. Okay. That's where I attend classes. I prepare, I consolidate. 5 p.m., I'm out. It's also depending on my church schedule as well, because I must always have to be at church at 6 to 8. So by my virtue of being to church, already you're no longer thinking of academics. And then when you come back home, sort of like your day is going down. It's really going down.
It's toning down.
So by the time I'm in bed, I'm already tired.
Okay.
Right? Because some of the things with insomnia is your body is still too hyperactive at the time you want to sleep. And one way of avoiding that is just having a fixed time for sleeping. You train yourself, I'm going to sleep at 10, I'm going to sleep at 12. I'm not going to touch my phone when I'm in bed. But I do have some days where but that's inspiration, that's curiosity. But I don't think I'm the best person to listen to in terms of writing down because I'm sort of like Elon Musk. I'm not a fan of him, but then I remember, you wouldn't say workaholic, but I'm like people would say I'm like a robot. You understand? If you want me to do something, give me a time. And okay, it has to be on my schedule first. I'm like a robot. So over the years, since I've been doing this since first year, right? A fixed routine, go for class, come back, consolidate, go after that, go there, sleep. So now my body is now been used to now sleep.
Habit is the
habit. But I like to listen to Christian sermons.
Okay.
Music. I'm not a person who likes to just listen to music.
You'll do something while listening to the music.
Whilst listening to it. I like to listen to sermons, Christian sermons, because that gets the mind out of it and gets my spirit in front. You understand? So it charges my spirit and then I get you really, really toned down. So if I'm brushing my teeth, I'm listening to a sermon, like I'm saying, the day is getting slower. After 6 p.m., the day is already getting slower. It's already getting slower. I've already shut down my journal, planned for tomorrow. I've already prepped up my clothes for tomorrow. That's sort of part of the winding down to say, I told my younger brother this holiday, if you want to dress better, just put out your clothes before you sleep, because you will notice the minute things. You will notice that my trousers is not ironed, my t-shirt is not ironed. My rather than deciding on what to wear that morning. So that kind of thing, brushing my teeth, planning for tomorrow, clearing up my messages, because I don't reply to messages. I don't reply to messages while I'm sitting down, because if I'm sitting down, it means I'm productive. Ooh. So I reply messages whilst walking on campus, or then I just do a daily shutdown.
That is a very good rule, and I think like if anyone's like struggling with that productivity thing, I think that is a great rule to never reply to messages or even go onto social media while sitting. That's a great rule.
Tell you what, I don't even have social media. I don't even have YouTube. I had to delete my YouTube app because I was so used to downloading stuff. At one point I had 500 something downloads. So for me, YouTube is that one thing. Instagram, it's all productivity stuff. So what I do with social media, because these things work with algorithms, yeah. What you feed into it.
Yeah.
So I intentionally, at a point in time, I'm intentionally feeding so that in future it will feed me what I want to hear.
Yes.
That's why I hate YouTube shorts.
Because they'll give you anything.
They'll give you anything. It almost never aligns. Yes, first 5 videos, yeah. And then all of a sudden, you understand? So I intentionally feed into the search. What I search, I search it with intention. So search Christian messages, business, finance, whatever, anything productivity, right? So that whenever I look at YouTube, what's on the face is what I want to see, which is what is something that is productive. I don't have TikTok. Never warmed up to it. Facebook as well, all of that kind of stuff. I don't have games on my phone. So my phone is for productivity. Really, it's serving its purpose.
There was this really interesting Twitter thread. I saw it in a blog, but I think if anyone's struggling with phone addiction, I don't know. I'm coining this. I don't know if someone else has said it, but the algorithm is the new opium, in my belief, because now we have everything we want in our feed, or everything that we subconsciously want. Not even that, because people want to be productive, but now you've got this algorithm that's, oof, that cooking video, you love cooking, or ooh, that self-improvement thing, and self-improvement just becomes sort of just an addiction. It's not actually improving your life.
Yeah.
So the algorithm is the new opium. But what was this app? I wish I could recall it. I have this app on my this Google extension on my laptop that blacks out the feed. So when you go into YouTube, you go into a website, and then you've got the feed, you've got like the suggested videos. I go on there, it's black. So that if I'm on YouTube, I have to choose, like I have to search.
Yep.
So that wasn't even what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, there was this Twitter thread. This idea is so powerful. I need to implement it because I think I need to start being more disciplined with my phone time. But there's this idea of having a cocaine phone, so like an addiction phone where you've got social media and stuff, and a kale phone. So kale's like a
kale. I've heard of that
kale.
before.
K-A-L. It's K-A-L-E. It's like
Kale.
it's like a spinach. It's like a spinach. It's a leafy
Oh
green.
yeah.
Kale juice is super healthy. It tastes like nonsense. So basically, this cocaine phone and this kale phone really helps with segmenting the good and the I don't want to call it bad, but it's just it can get out of control. The addictive
Really can.
So before 12 o'clock or before a specific time, you're not allowed to use the cocaine phone. So that's the one with your Instagrams on, your YouTubes, your social media. You put that away. And the kale phone, you're allowed to. It's got Kindle. If you use Kindle, it's got notes. It's got all those nice productive things, so that you can stick to the good stuff for that specific time. And then you can create a time. Maybe there's 4 hours in a day that you allowed your cocaine phone, which is a great system for anyone who's struggling with it. Brother, if you could go back to first year, second year, maybe even high school what would you tell him?
Nice question. For my high school self. Very interesting question. The thing is, I was almost always focused, almost always purpose driven. Yes. I had most of things of my life figured out when I was in high school. But I'll tell myself, one of the things I'll say is that, just because, be mindful of what you say. Just because something is true, it doesn't mean you have to say it. Because I have heard some people along the way, you understand? Yes, they come for counsel for you, but yes, you're telling them the truth. Right? You're really opening up, and then you're helping them at the same time. But just because something is true doesn't mean you have to say it. Why? Because your words are powerful. I'll tell myself that your words, what comes out of your mouth, and that's what we learn from the Word of God as well. What really comes out of your mouth matters, because remember, angels are listening for commands. Right? You command angels with your mouth. You things around you. In fact, everything that was made responds to sound, right? Your walls respond to what you say. So if you say negative things about yourself, they reciprocate, right? Right? So even if you enter someone else's room, for example, you can really, there's like an aura. You don't know what's here, but there's something here that is quite negative. So your words are very powerful. Number 2, I'll probably teach myself to, tell myself to pray more. Get to know God more. There's so much evil in the world, through news, through movies, music. So I'll say it started early. I would have gone back like to high school. Don't even taste. You don't need to, there's things you don't need to taste, right? You don't need to taste them. My father always said, Walter, you don't need to rewrite a book. You don't need to rewrite a book. We have told you.
Yeah.
We've told you that doing this thing, right, will not help you. So why do you want to do it? Right? We've already written the book that don't avoid this thing at all costs. Then don't go there. I wouldn't go there. I'll tell myself, don't rewrite yourself. Don't rewrite a book. Don't go there. Right? Don't go. My mom always say, life is what you make it, Walter. Right? Don't go to the things that you know.
You shouldn't, yeah.
You shouldn't do. Yes, we say experiment, but that's on the good side. But there are certain things that you know yourself, we're going to go somewhere. Don't go there. Right? Don't go there. I'll probably tell myself that.
So, Walter out there, if he's listening, number one, don't say it if it's going to hurt someone.
Yes. And if it's about yourself.
And if it's about yourself as well.
Don't say negative things about yourself.
Don't say negative things. No. Words are powerful. Words are powerful. Number two, pray more.
And get to know God more.
Get to know God more. Get to know your purpose more. Get to know yourself more. Mm-hmm. And three, don't rewrite a book. Don't rewrite it. Mm-hmm. You know the things that you should stay away from. Try it by all means to do that.
Yeah.
Guys, if you have not already, please follow this. This was absolutely insightful. I'm gonna re-listen to this when it comes out. I'm gonna listen to this a couple times because I think there's so many threads. There's so many, I think things that I'll take away. I'll take away a lot from this. And this was part one, the first episode with Walter. Guys, I hope it does not end, but that it begins in CASA. Thank you, Walter, brother.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and God bless you.